Hey guys, it's Amy with aim.to.plan, and today we are here for day 8 of December Daily. Okay, so our December 8th was actually a fairly relaxed day. There wasn't really much that happened, nothing that really stands out in terms of a holiday or December related event. And so what I decided to do today is to go to a story that I've been saving for a day that I didn't really have a lot going on. And so this is the story that I'm going to be telling. And you can see here that I've already printed some stuff out. But I happened to a couple of, well, it was about a couple of days ago, like 4 or 5 days ago. I happened to go into my room, and one of the things that my daughter does, she's 3 now, she's about to be 4 in January, is every night, pretty much almost every night, she slips out of her bed and comes to our room, and climbs into our bed. She's still at that age where I guess she's really uncomfortable with nighttime, and so I'm trying to appreciate it as, she is at that age where she still needs her parents to be with her and to comfort her, rather than considering it an inconvenience that she's still climbing into her bed with us. So, in the spirit of the season, I decided to tell the story about her routine. And I didn't really even tell the story about her routine. I actually was originally planning to just talk about what she did. And a couple of days ago, I'm looking at this photo and it's kind of small actually, which is not cool. But a couple of days ago, again, like 4 or 5 days ago, I went into my room and she had basically she sleeps in the middle between me and my husband, but she had somehow kind of curled off and is hanging off the bed. And I cut off her foot here. I might actually go back and reprint this picture, just because the sizes are a little bit larger here. I'm not quite sure why it's so small. Anyway, so she is hanging off the bed, and I just saw this photo and I was like, that's just so precious, how is it that she can take up so much space when she's just this tiny body? And so that was the story that I was originally going to tell. And then today, in a completely random separate incident, I have some photos of her that's placed on a bulletin board kind of system. And these photos are super old. They're from her first year of life when she wasn't even 1 yet. And for her first birthday, I had created this garland of a photo for each month. And I had printed some photos out. And so some of the photos on that 12-month, 12 photos board were these two. Now this photo is when she's 2 or 3 days old. And this photo, I honestly don't even remember exactly when, but it was when she's still tiny. You can see she's still tiny. And so I saw these photos and I thought, oh, these are going to be really nice as a story together. And so that's what I'm going to do here, is put these stories together. Now, for whatever reason, here I printed them at the right size, which is these photos are 4x4, but here I printed it smaller, which is kind of frustrating. I'm not quite sure why in my head I resized this, but I might leave it for right now. I might reprint it too. It just really depends on how I feel once I start laying stuff down. Again, the issue here is these I actually colored. These are actual photos that I printed out, and I recolored them, and I couldn't figure out how I recolored these because it was 3 years ago. And so this is obviously a different coloration than the others, but I'm gonna survive and it will be fine. Now, with all of these issues, it might be where I figure it out and I can recolor it and put it in place. But I'm going to go ahead and do the project. You'll see how I plan to lay this out, and then we can go, you can imagine how I'm going to move forward. So I thought that with these photos, what I'd like to do is create a flip up where the photo of her is here, and then I'm going to put this photo here, and these two will be underneath it. And so with these photos, I didn't want to punch straight into it, so I grabbed a piece of scrap paper. Again, it's the same one that I've been using pretty much for 2 or 3 other projects. And I'm going to just trim it out just enough to be able to leave some room for the disc punch. And then I'm just going to trim out basically a 4x8 piece plus some. So it's 4.5-ish by 8. And I do need, as I'm talking this out, I do need some extra room here at the top as well, just in case. So I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger than the size that I'm planning it for. And hopefully that's 4x8. Let me use a second photo just to be able to measure that. I don't want to cut it too short, that's for sure. And that way, if it's a little bit too long, I can trim it after the fact, but I definitely don't want to shorten it or cut it a little bit too short, because then I'll run into some issues with taping it down. So this is going to be a fairly straightforward, easy project. I'm going to punch this right now. Okay, so grab my punch and I'm just going to punch this. With this larger piece, I think it doesn't really matter, but I do want to, this might be off a little bit because again, like there's a little bit of a longer piece here. So it might be where one of these holes gets, or disc holes gets cut in half, but I'm okay with that. And so what I'm going to do is really just place these photos on here. Maybe I should use the white side. I had a thought about this, and honestly, I don't remember what it is. Like, I meant to do something. Like, I have 4, and really the flip up is only meant for 3, unless I use this back piece as well. But I don't know if I want to use that. So it could be where I'm going to, maybe it works out that I like cut it a little bit short. I'm going to, this is placement wise, like what would make the most sense, right? So I want it to be fairly close to it. I do want it to fold down and have the image of her as a baby. And then I want to be able to place this. Do I want it to be as a surprise, or do I want it to be one of the like main photos? I just think these photos are so cute. Look how adorable she is with her lips there. So maybe I will tuck this in here as like a second flip up. And so I think I am going to do that. All right, and so this is just me kind of putting it together and really talking you through it because I have no idea. So again, I don't have a bone folder, so I'm going to fold up this little edge right here just as a place. I didn't do a great job there, to glue this piece in, and this will serve as the fold out piece as well for me. And then maybe it works out that this photo is a little bit smaller because then I can glue this on here and it will cover it enough, and I'll add something here so you can tell that it's a flip up. Right? And I don't personally like the extra green right here, so I'm actually going to create it to be like more of a tab or like a spot for me to glue it. I just ripped it right there. Hopefully I don't need that. Hopefully it's covered up by the text. So just for like a little kind of a tab where I can lift, or like a hinge. That's what I'm trying to say, a hinge. And so that's there. Let me grab my glue. Again, I'm using Crazy Art glue because I don't have any of the fancy stuff and trying to use up my stash. Oh no, look, that's how just how cheap it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, let me use the back of this. Oh no, that's definitely not gonna work. That's a throwaway. More crazy glue. Okay, so yeah, this is okay. So I'm just gonna glue it down here. I put extra glue. Hopefully this will work. Okay, and so this piece will be, I'm actually going to line it up fairly close to the margin here. And I can trim off the excess here. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, so this one, I do need to flip up. Okay, and so I will need to somehow designate that that's a flip up. I want to adjust it because it's not quite even. Okay, so it's like that. And then this photo will be underneath. And I want it to be fairly centered to it, but let me make those adjustments in just a second. Then what I want to do is be able to fold down here. And again, this will be a lift up, and I might have to trim this just a tiny bit. But I want it to, I'll leave enough of a gap and place one of these photos here. And again, I really need something to fold this edge. I'm going to use, let me grab like this is a random Happy Planner cover that I've got just lying around from other videos that I'm recording. So I'm going to use this to fold up this edge here. All right. I did it like that. I'm going to crease it. Oh, see, that was a terrible decision because I really should have matched it up and then punched it. All right, I'm gonna have to start over. All right, starting over. Okay, so I need to rescue this piece. I'll save this for another project. There we go. Let's try again. That's probably big enough. Probably. I'm going to use this bottom edge because I gave it a little bit more room, and I'm going to do it right on the very edge. And again, just making sure I have enough room here. Okay, good. So same thing here. I'm trimming this bottom. This is actually the outer edge here, so that's way better than my, you know, kind of sketchy trimming that I just did here. So I'm going to cut this edge. And one thing that I noticed as I was folding it like that, I will have to trim part of this. And so I think I'm going to trim this section, and this is the section that I'll punch. And in fact, now that I did that, I could have done that for the other piece that I used. All right, so now I have two pieces to play with. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Yeah, I mean, I could, right? Let me just use this. I've already, like, semi-committed to it. All right. I cut it a little bit shorter than I was intending to, and so I need a little bit less of a hinge here just because I might not have enough space at the top. Well, I will have enough space, but it might be like really tight. It might not fold really well if I don't leave enough space. And so how can I turn this to cut this? Okay, I'm right-handed, so it's really difficult to get this one edge. Okay, I'll trim it down just a little bit more in if I need to in a bit. All right, and again, just folding this little lip. This time I did put the pattern on the inside. I was thinking that with this smaller photo, it would look nice against the pattern. And I can use the back side for something a little bit different. Well, the number will go there, really. I forget all the elements that I need in here. Okay, so again, I placed it on there. Just double checking that everything looks good. And it flips up like this. Again, I will have to, it's a little bit too close to that edge right there. Okay, so there's something about this that's registering just a tiny bit. Okay. Okay, that's better. The hinge, I actually folded a little bit too high, and so it folds in just the tiniest bit too high here. Let's see if I can fix that. Now that it's on it. Ugh. My hands are like gluey now. Okay, I have to go wash my hands. Okay, they're clean now. You just don't want like residue from the ink to like smear on some of these photos. Okay, so it's still folding funny. I'm not quite sure why, but now it's almost like it's dry. So it will definitely flip. It just doesn't flip like, it does flip all the way out, but I mean, I would not recommend that. So then I'm going to glue this picture in here. And so again, I'll leave that for right this second so I can kind of look at it. And then here, what I'm going to do is, again, fold it using, I'll just use this one since it's sitting right here, using my December Daily photo album. And again, because I cut it a little bit shorter, I'm folding it a little bit closer to the line here, which looks good. I'm using my fingernails to score it, and that came out fairly even with that edge. Slightly off a little bit, but it should be okay. All right, and it folds decently. And then decision. This photo and this photo is what I'm thinking. She's so cute right there, and then we can fold up and see the second photo, and then fold down and see that photo. All right, I think so, because it's so cute. Again, I don't have the fancy glue, so this is just getting the crazy art glue treatment. And this one will go on this front side. Just making sure that it aligns with these edges that I've created here. Okay, and then this photo I'm loving these photos. She's just so cute and precious when she's sleeping, right? And she's precious all the time, of course. But she's especially adorable when she's sleeping. And lately she's been talking in her sleep, and that's been the cutest. She's saying the funniest things in her sleep, and she doesn't remember at all. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, I do need to trim it. Actually, let me do this photo first. Because this is a little bit smaller, I am going to glue it down. I like having the pattern. I think that looks pretty good. Because it is a little bit smaller, I get to see some of the pattern, which is why I flipped this one this way instead of using the white side, which is what I was doing originally with the green piece. But, you know, I might change my mind too. I might decide this piece needs to be the same size as all the others. All right, I'm hoping that that's it for the glue because it's starting to come off again and I might have to wash my hands again. Okay, so that's what it looks like for the time being. All right. That's super cute. Let me go ahead and trim some of these extra edges. This one and this one, they are back together, and I don't necessarily want to trim anything off, but they are square, I hope. So let me cut that off. And so I do have this edge, which is on this side small. Let me use this as a measuring tool. For this top piece right here, I'm trying to see if I did this, would any of the hole punches be into the photo? And it actually would not, even with this like smaller edge. You just double check on this other side. Yeah, okay, so it shows up as completely white, you know? And so there's no photo that gets kind of caught in there. All right, so I'm gonna punch. No, you know what? Even with that, I'm still gonna cut it. So I'm gonna cut off this piece right here, just so it folds a little bit easier. Again, they are square. They're well aligned with each other, and so I shouldn't be cutting off any photo material like that. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is clean up this edge. Again, I need a straight edge here. Which one's the straightest edge? Just to cut this. Let me go ahead and use something to like draw a line because I feel like I'm gonna cut it extremely just gonna be crooked if I did it what I was just doing right there, like just eyeballing it. Okay, I want it to be, I can't do that. I need to do it this way. Haha, I figured it out. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna do it this way. And again, just making it as straight of a line as possible. It is something where, you know, you can see I'm just like DIYing it. It's not necessarily gonna be perfect, but I do want it to be decent. Okay, so that's the line. I'll cut a little bit inside that line so it doesn't show up. And this is the part that I'm going to punch. And then all I need now are tabs and the number. And I think we're gonna call this a done day. Okay, so I'm punching it again. I'm trying to center it a little bit. Okay, so that looks great. All right, let me grab some tabs. This is a la Ali Edwards, who uses tabs to kind of explain or show where we're going to need to do some of the flip ups. I'm gonna go ahead and use these red pieces. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't use those red pieces. They're not exactly the same shade. So maybe just clear pieces. And so I'll grab these two clear pieces. I think there are two sections where I'm going to open. I might need more. And then the labels, which I would stamp, but I have stamps. I just didn't bring them out. I didn't really think about that when I was doing all this. And so I'm actually just going to write open me. I don't even know if I have a stamp that says that, to be honest. So, all right, I'm using my 0.7 G2 here, and I'm writing on the photo, you guys. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Open me. Okay, and then the other one, I'll put something like flip. Okay. Okay. And so those two are ready. I'll let it dry a little bit. The 0.7 tends to smear if you don't let it dry all the way. And so I'll leave that for just a second and figure out the placement first. And then we'll come back and put those in. Okay, so the first flip is right here, right? So obviously like right here would be a great spot for it and it would flip up. And so now that I've glued it all down, I feel like it would be better if it were on the scrapbook paper and not the photo itself. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna open it up just a tiny bit and slip this underneath there. And I can re-glue and re-adhere some of this to the scrapbook paper. All right, I'm gonna try to get it fairly, if not centered, at least like centered with her face. All right, so that's good, I think. Okay, we'll put one right there. All right, and this is the flip up. And again, this part will be tucked underneath this photo. All right, and it will go right there. And that'll be the first flip. And then there will be a second flip that's right here. Now this one, just because of where this is placed, it won't work. And so I'm going to put it on the side right here. And this one, again, it's just a sheet of paper. And now I'm realizing there's something missing here. I knew there was a fourth flip. I just didn't know where it was. Okay, so for this one, I will just attach it directly here. And then in fact, I'll attach it up here. This corner is already just within the first couple of flips, kind of shown some wear and tear. So I'm going to put it higher up so that way this could be kind of support for that one corner. I printed this on regular copy paper. And you know, when you have these interactive pieces, sometimes, you know, cardstock or some other heavier weight paper would be more ideal. I just didn't think about that. When I printed it out, I just like ran it through as quick as possible. All right, so let me pull that off. I don't know why I was struggling so much with that one. All right, stick it here. Okay, and then I will re-adhere all of this. It's like lifting up right here. Put that there. Let me re-adhere this side. Right there. Okay, and I'm going to put this one here. If I can get it in there. All right, perfect. And then this one goes here. Now, one con with this is that I put them all out and you can see both of them. And so now we have no idea which one to flip first and which one to flip second. So that'll be kind of a fun puzzle. That's kind of a fun puzzle. All right, should have put like one or two, but that's pretty much it. That's the project. I do have an extra space right here. And so if I can find another photo, in fact, let me just reach for this photo. She's not asleep in this photo, but again, like my bulletin board, well, the story is it fell. And so it fell and these photos were everywhere. And so I'm gonna actually put this photo in here. She's not sleeping, but she's kind of sleepy. I'm just gonna stick it in there anyway. And she's just, again, so cute. The story, the December daily story is about sleep, but she's just so adorable in these photos. Oh my goodness. I'm really worried about this one flipping, so I have to double check it with everything else. And I will have to trim it with some of the extra edges here. I really should have aligned it here on this far right side so I don't have to trim that side because I've already put down the what is it called, tab. All right, let me pull this up carefully and just redo this. And I'm going to align it with this corner right here so I can only have to trim two edges. That's the goal. Okay, and then we're gonna call it pretty close to done. I'm only missing the number. All right. All right, I don't think it doesn't fold that well, so let me trim off right here, just the tiniest bit, so it can sit a little bit flatter. And then this side, Needs to be trimmed. Again, just the tiniest bit because the white is showing. Okay, and now let's see what this looks like. Here, here. Okay, it folds well. Some of this is not staying adhered. This is where better glue would definitely be of benefit here. Okay. Okay, open, flip. All right, good, I love that. And then on the back here will be the number 8. And again, I've been using the same set of numbers. I actually pulled the sheet already of these numbers here. And it will just go on the back. I really should put it on the front, but like I don't want to cover her face. Maybe I should do it like right here next to her face, right here. Something like this. What do you guys think? And then I'll have space on the back for the beginnings of a December 9th story. I actually like that. I'm actually going to add this little white piece, which normally you want to like weed that out, right? But I'm going to add it in there because I feel like, I don't know. Otherwise it looks weird. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this. And it'll be like kind of half, 3/4 of an 8. All right. I think we're done. I think this is it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. 8, super cute. Look at that precious face. Flips up, has this second picture and the story, and then we'll flip here and we get this other photo of a baby and then her currently. And I will add a sticker here probably that says currently. And if I can find it, that would be perfect. I'm wanting something that says like this year or currently or something like that. And I'll add that right there. Otherwise, that is my story. And I love that. That's super cute. Let me go ahead and show you what I did yesterday for yesterday as well. One of the issues that I had was this piece was popping up a lot. It wasn't sitting flat. And so one of the things that I did was added these little plastic pieces right here that I just punched with my power punch from yesterday's video. And you know, without it, it sits about like right there. And so with it, it can be a little bit flatter. And again, I still haven't glued anything down. I'm still looking for photos. In fact, let me show you, you know, some of the contenders for photos here for what we have for the Advent calendar story, which again, I am missing the photos from the back up here. But here is one where she's hugging on her little Applejack and then her toes. And those will go on the ornament somewhere. But this is pretty much a done project. Like it goes in here, flips up, flips side down. And then back here will be day 9, or at least the start of day 9. And going forward, probably something. I'm not really sure. But that's pretty much day 8 done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Follow me with all of my December daily stories on my December daily playlist. And until the next video, bye guys.